Alrighty, what is cracking, everybody? Little yappy dog over here. Alrighty, what is cracking, everybody? Pretty exciting video today. Pretty exciting day today. Going back out, attempt number 2 to catch the giant Great Lakes pike that we saw not even 3-4 days ago. So I know they're still going to be there. The only thing is, are they going to be eating? So a little bit of the setup we got here. We got the Bass Track. You guys have seen this quite a few times. Oh, look at that nice decal. Oh yeah. All right, we got a Yamaha 3000 watt generator. We got some LED lights from I believe these came from the Home Depot. They're pretty freaking bright. And the nice thing about LED, wow, that one's a little bent though. The nice thing about LED lights in comparison to halogen lights is these girls don't get hot. And I think they're more fuel efficient, I don't really know, but they're definitely bright. So this is going to illuminate the water for us to make it possible to see the fish at night. And the cool thing about that is they're going to be up close and personal. I mean, we were seeing these fish under 15 to 10 feet away and a foot to 2 foot of water, and pretty much driving right past them, and they weren't scared at all. So a bit of what we got going on here. Walked into the Gander Mountain yesterday with the sole purpose of just buying a couple of decent sized spinners to catch pike, and then realized that I mean, we caught a couple 40-inch pike on light tackle, on bass tackle, so you don't really need a mega rod, but I do still have a dream of catching a muskie on casting gear. So picked up an Abu Garcia. It wasn't a combo, but spent a lot more money than I thought. I think the reel or the rod was like 100, reel was like $150, and then like 20 snells for a 80-pound Power Pro, which honest to God I didn't even know what they made. I thought 65 was the maximum. And for this one, we're going to be throwing what is definitely a musky lure. But the whole little cliche saying, you know, big baits, big fish, is not why I have this on here. The reason that I have this on here is the last 2 40-plus inch pike that we caught. One was on a jerk bait, which he had that thing swallowed. I mean, I was surprised that we got the bait out with no blood and the fish survived no problem, but he had that thing swallowed pretty far, probably about 6-7 inches up the line. I mean, his teeth were rubbing on 30-pound braid. No idea how he didn't cut it. But the whole philosophy behind this big bait is there's a lot of metal in between the hook and the line. So as long as you're paying attention, get a good hook set, hopefully I won't lose this $25 spinner. Musky baits I've learned, as well as musky rods, and pretty much everything musky is not a cheap sport to get into, but definitely cheaper than duck hunting, so I could dig it. Next, going back to, I don't know, I'm probably going to change this, but Abu Garcia 30-pound braid to a flipping jig. This was the exact jig that Alex caught his personal best pike on like a month ago. So I might change that, but if it's super hard to catch a fish, I'm going to try to just bounce this jig in front of their face and hopefully get a good hook set before they eat it off, because nothing sucks more than losing tackle and sending fish to the deeps with tackle in their mouth. Next we have, I actually backlashed the heck out of my Lew's reel, so I have an Abu Garcia reel on a Lew's rod. This was the the rod that I initially bought to catch pike, big pike, like 3 or 4 years ago, and she's kind of, as you can tell, a little broken in now, but got a nice little, I think it's like a, I don't know, size 3 or 4 or 5 maybe Meps, kind of like hippie type coloring. So I figure I got black, I got bright, I got your traditional, you know, red for pike. All righty, and last but not least, we got another Abu Garcia. Bought this one at Fleet Farm in Milwaukee. Walked into Cabela's down that way, expecting to max out my credit card. Was so disappointed with their fishing selection that walked out and literally did not spend a dime when it was prime late ice fishing season up here They had nothing for ice fishing left. They had nothing for pre-spawn bass. They really just had nothing in general. So I went to Fleet Farm, bought a couple new rods. This was one of them. And I think this Mepps right here is going to be the ticket. Still a decent amount of metal in between a giant treble hook and the only 30-pound braid. But it's not that I'm worried about catching a pike over 30 pounds. It's more so I'm worried about a 10 to 20 pound pike eating through 30 pound braid like it's string cheese, which has happened to me plenty of times. But we're gonna wing it. I don't want to put 80-pound line on all of my bass rods just for the couple times. I'm gonna go target giant pike. If that doesn't work, we got my tackle bag. I got jerk baits in there. I don't really want to use jerk baits. I got some crankbaits. I got a bunch of jigs, some soft plastics. I do have big, long, like 7-8 inch white flukes, which is a money maker of a pike bait. But the same thing, you just put that on a regular bass hook. I don't like to use steel leaders. Just, I don't know, it ruins the action. It's more rewarding to catch a pike without a steel leader. But if all else fails, I got the Browning Barracuda, and we saw a good deal of suckers and catfish, which you're allowed to shoot. So worst case scenario, I'll take the bow out and miss a bunch of those. But before we end this video, I don't remember where I just put all of them. The most important thing, I had a Taco Bell snack, that people need to worry about when, especially if they're going, what the heck? Especially if they're going pike fishing, or if they are just going bass fishing in an area that has pike. Last thing that you guys need to have in your tackle box, in your boat, in your backpack, whatever, a pair of jaw spreaders. And I'm sure these aren't the biggest ones they make, but they're the biggest ones they sell at Gander Mountain, which opens a pike's mouth far enough so you can reach in with a long enough pair of pliers to get your hooks out without A, doing damage to the fish, and B, doing damage to the pike. I mean, I'm surprised with the few times I've been out and not had these that I have not yet had to have stitches. And the funny thing with pike cuts is you notice right away because you'll be gushing blood, but they really don't hurt until you go home and wash your hands, and they hurt like a mofo. And there are a lot of people, I've heard a lot of rumors and actually know some people that are so into bass fishing, they get so upset that when they catch a pike, they actually kill them, which is ridiculous to me, because yeah, a 5, 6, 7 pound bass is great to catch, awesome, but it just mathematically makes sense that a 20 to 25 pound fish is going to be more fun to catch. But if all else fails, I do have some backups. I'm thinking that all white spinner deal there, the one that's got like a whole deer tail on it, might work. Some shiny things in here, and I may even throw the Mega Muskie jerk bait potentially. I don't know, these, other than those ones up in the top left sides, these other are like 20 to like $25, so I'm not really in a hurry to lose those unless I'm going for muskies, which is coming soon. You will, hopefully, if everything works out, see some muskie videos occur this summer. But I don't know, a little preparation going on. We'll be headed out of here in a couple hours, and hopefully you'll see. I mean, I've never seen anybody go out with a bow fishing setup to actually go fishing with a rod and reel and not just shoot fish, which is awesome too. We'll be doing some of that, but I don't know, hopefully if this all works out, we'll catch a couple to a bunch of fish, hopefully some dandies. If not, you're at least going to see a video of a whole bunch of giant pike in their natural habitat, and splake and lake trout and whatever else we stumble across in that big old blue lake out yonder. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know you all already have, but hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you're feeling. Leave a comment. We love talking with you. We're gonna do our best to bring you daily videos. If you don't see a video from day to day, that means we're probably off the grid somewhere where we don't have cell phone service, and we do have a couple trips planned this year that are going to take us out of cell phone and out of Wi-Fi range, including a trip across the ocean, which I'm not going to spoil that one yet, but it's going to be pretty big. So thank you all for watching. As always, happy Id Fest.